Everybody says running LinkedIn ads for a B2B service or software company is way too expensive, takes ages, and never really drives the results you want. But what if it didn't have to? LinkedIn B2B ads specialist Philip Illick joins me to share this weird, unusual play that he's running to drive booked calls at a super low cost at a super fast rate. He's going to unpack his lesser known strategy so you can start driving booked calls for your B2B software or service company running LinkedIn ads with this weird play. Let's dive into the interview. Hey Phil, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much, Sam. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks, man. Excited to dive in. So we're talking all things LinkedIn ads, driving booked calls, inbound demos for your sales team in record time. But I thought LinkedIn ads took ages, man. I thought it took it months, even years before you saw any kind of traction, any kind of booked calls. I thought it was a super long game.
I mean, it really depends on your sales cycles and other bits and bobs. I run a marketing agency, so if you run a consulting firm, some people say sales cycles are weeks, and there's a percent of people who are in market. Within LinkedIn ads, I think the percent's getting higher and higher. There's a lot of people who are like, we've tried LinkedIn ads, it doesn't work. So I'm in a space where I think the in-market people is big enough that I can literally put ads and be having phone calls within a few days. And it's partly to do with an outbound process that also is kind of linked up to the LinkedIn ads, which I can go into in a mo.
Yeah. Excited to dive in and reveal kind of your secret sauce. I know, again, it goes against the grain of what a lot of LinkedIn social ads gurus share, which I always love doing on this show because I think there's so many hot takes that need to be broken. But before we do that, I think it would be quite nice to share maybe some LinkedIn ads misconceptions. Like I think a lot of, like you touched on there, a lot of marketing leaders, I think a lot of founders, especially in the B2B service and tech and SaaS space, kind of almost steer clear of LinkedIn ads because they kind of think it's some evil black box. They're going to be paying hundreds of dollars per click. It's going to waste tons of cash. But I'd love to hear kind of what you feel are like the biggest misconceptions before we dive into the strategy.
Yeah, I meat people literally. I audit accounts on a weekly basis, and these people are very skeptical ads. They've tried it, and they're like, it just didn't work for us. We tried it, and I speak to people in conferences everywhere, and they're always like, we tried LinkedIn ads, and they suck. They didn't work. Whenever I audit an account like that, they've had really simple things they kind of did wrong, which is like LinkedIn Audience Network was ticked on, which is one of the things I see way too often, even though all the people posting about LinkedIn ads are always posting about the hygiene stuff, which just completely destroys accounts. And it's crazy how many accounts, even spending 20K a month, 50K a month, as well as the small ones, just make really simple mistakes. LAN, if you tick that on and that tick box keeps popping up, even when you like refresh the page, it ticks itself on again. LinkedIn kind of tries to make you tick that box on, but it basically just ruins a campaign. For example, you'll get zero conversions. Your CPC looks really low, but it just basically you'll get zero conversions. So this is just one of like many things you can get wrong with LinkedIn ads. And so whenever anyone comes to me and says, "Oh, LinkedIn ads suck, they don't work," I'd love to just check your ad account out and just audit the basic hygiene stuff first.
Yeah. Is there any other glaring mistakes that you see time and again, or things that you think people often stumble upon if they don't know the ins and outs?
I see the same thing over and over again. Yeah. So like this is just basic hygiene stuff, but audience sizes. So you get a lot of meta. So like companies will have a paid like a paid media person in the company, and they maybe ran Meta ads or Google ads, and then they're like, okay, we need LinkedIn ads, and that paid person is like, okay, I'll give it a shot. I'm sure it can't be that different. And the one mistake they make, and I've seen this quite a few times even this year, is like their audience size will be like 1 million on LinkedIn, and on Meta that makes a lot of sense because the algorithm and the AI learning capacity of Meta is so good. It's actually really good. LinkedIn's like a manual algorithm. It's like a really basic algorithm. You kind of need to like do everything manually, and you want your ICP to be really tight. You want your audience to be really tight. You might even want to upload a list. So anything between 20 to 80K, I love in audience sizes. And I see this all the time where there's audience sizes of like 400,000 or 1 million even. The second thing, as I mentioned, was LinkedIn Audience Network. And another one is bidding. Most people go straight to max delivery because that's the default one that's basically there.
Yeah.
But it's a good way just to get LinkedIn to spend your money willy-nilly, and it just kind of like there's no performance in it at all or efficiencies. So you have to go to it's like even the manual bidding, it's like hidden. You have to click. I think I can't remember what it says. It's like see more or something like that, and then it
Yeah.
pops up the manual bidding part, and then you have to go down a manual bidding route. So there's these are just like two or three things. The final thing is just strategy. Most people just throw spaghetti at a wall and hope something works, but there's literally no strategy in the account. There's like just random ads, not and no one really knows the objectives really or what's going on with that. So I think those are the kind of main things.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of things in play when it comes to the setup of a LinkedIn ads account that almost LinkedIn are trying to get you to spend as much cash as possible by keeping these settings pre-ticked or pre-approved before you even start things up, before you fire up your campaign. That you're kind of if you're new to it and you perhaps haven't
Yeah.
the expertise,
It's
then
kind
you
of
can get.
unbelievable, actually, how LinkedIn tricks advertisers to spend a lot of money, but inefficiently. Because you'd expect, that obviously, if you have good performance, you're going to build up your budget. But most people who start do the like trust LinkedIn, and even the bidding will say, "Oh, we recommend a bidding between $10 to $30 or something like that." And it's you always should bid lower than even the lowest recommendation on LinkedIn, basically. So there are so many. Basically, don't trust LinkedIn at all. Even the reps have. I speak to these reps all the time. The reps have like a sales. They have things they need to sell, so they've been pushing really hard on CTV recently, and it's something that I nearly got sold on. I had a one large account I was managing, and you need quite a large budget to do CTV. CTV is basically being on like TV in people's houses, and LinkedIn now can do that.
Gotcha.
And they pushed it really hard, and they were like, "Oh, there's 80%, increase in convert." They gave all this. They just threw statistics at you. I have no idea where these stats came from. And every other LinkedIn person I speak to, pretty much all the LinkedIn ads guys out there, I asked them, and no one. I don't think anyone's had that great of success with
What's the
CTV.
stat? Ninety nine point
There
nine
was
percent
just
of people watch TV, so your ad should be on TV.
yeah, I don't know. There was a lot of like, yeah, 70% lift and X, Y, and Z, and they're just putting stats at you. And you're like, oh, that sounds pretty good. But yeah, it's not true, I don't think.
Real quick, if you're tired of competitors outranking your Google Organic and LLMs, meaning they're stealing pipeline, visibility, and mindshare, why not book a call with me over at breakingb2b.com so we can chat through if we're a good fit to start driving you results with SEO. That's breakingb2b.com or hit the link in the description below. Got it. Got it. Okay, so you've got to be careful when it comes to the actual setup so you're not kind of splashing cash willy-nilly, which I feel like I quite often see posts on socials where people be like, LinkedIn ads is a waste of money. And then it's kind of like most things drill back to strategy. It's the same when we're offering SEO. Like people might say, oh, we tried SEO in-house before. We published a load of content. We did some random backlinks. We did some PR. And I'll be like, great, but what was the actual thought process behind there? Like, who's specifically is your ICP? Like, who are we targeting? Are they actually searching on Google? What are the main offers you want to drive inbound leads to your sales team? Like, what are the main industries you serve best? I'll ask them these kind of high level questions, and then there were almost crickets. So it's
Yeah.
almost like there's no overarching clear path that you want to take. It's more like we've tried a few things, they've not worked. We've ruled that channel as a no.
It's like any channel. I mean, a lot of people say like outbound's dead, and it's obviously not. Or like cold calling used to be dead, and now everyone's doing cold calling again. So, and SEO is dead a million times. You always post about that, Sam. I've seen you like that's one of your funny posts, like SEO dead next to a graveyard, in a graveyard. And people, I think with LinkedIn, it's like one of the first things everyone says it doesn't work because it is quite a hard platform to work. But on the other hand, when you do make it work, it's one of the few platforms you can reach really high value people like VPs of marketing or VPs or whatever. If you can't really do that on scale with any other channel, obviously SEO and other channels you can, but it's not an on-off button. SEO takes time. It's super valuable. But from a paid media channel, it's very hard to achieve that on any other, anywhere else, basically.
Got it. Cool. That tees up nicely. So let's dive into your weird, unusual black box strategy that we're going to unlock and unpack. So I think, like we touched on before, a lot of folks think like LinkedIn ads is a long old game. It's going to take a long time to generate booked calls, but it sounds like you've got a process that enables kind of B2B teams to see inbound calls or demos
Yeah.
or whatever their point is. So let's take it from the top.
Well, you know what? It really depends on budget, and it depends. The one I'm talking about today is a bit of a lower budget type of play, and I'm not dissing the strategies that other strategies that work, like a demand gen strategy, delivering content to your ICP with thought leader ads. That's something another time we can go over, and that works really well. I know you do that, Sam. I believe from the posts I've read, where you deliver thought leader ads to your ICP, and over time you get inbound. I believe that's your kind of play, and a lot of people do that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we're doing
Yeah.
that at Breaking B2B.
So that works as well. I'm not dissing any other strategy, but this one I'm running the one I'm about to talk about for myself because it's just working really well. And it's actually going back to old school strategy of doing gated content, and all the demand gen people since, Refine Labs and all those guys, they killed lead gen. They're like, it's all about demand gen, never gate anything, all that. That's kind of sound advice, generally speaking. But I think they built a whole business model. I mean, they made millions from demand gen, so they were really, they were happy to push that as much as possible. But what I'm finding is I've actually created a lead magnet, which is actually very valuable. It's my LinkedIn ads operating system. I used to charge literally $400, $500 for it. I just put it for free. It's genuinely actually really good. It's not just some crap. I put it on LinkedIn and did one of those viral comment and like just to get as much social proof as possible. And then I turned that into an ad. And that basically, and then what you do is you edit that ad and you put your call to action, which is, download it here rather than comment and like, sends people to a landing page, people download it. The reason why this works now is because thought leader ads, the CPC, and with all that social proof on a thought leader ad, which is just a boosted post. So you have loads of people liking, I think I have like 500 likes and whatever. There's so much social proof that when they get to the landing page, the conversion rate I have on my landing page is roughly 50% of anyone who clicks. So suddenly the efficiency is getting really good because also from the thought leader ad, the CPC is nearly half the amount from a company post. So suddenly if you do the maths, and I've got a Google sheet and I'm releasing this on my newsletter quite soon with all the numbers that are coming out, the CPC is really low. The conversion rate's really high on the landing page. So I'm basically getting leads at about $10 per lead, or sorry, £10 a lead. So like, I don't know what, $12, $13 a lead. So with quite a small budget, you can get a lot of leads coming into your kind of ecosphere of your world. And once they come in, there are two things that happen. I go straight outbound to them. I connect with them on LinkedIn. I say, hey, I noticed you downloaded the thing. It should be available now. By the way, here's another Loom video. And I just push more content at them. And this Loom video is basically, I think it's been watched over 1,000 times now. And I would probably attribute it for the majority of the clients who've come in with us recently are all from that Loom video. So I push more content, like a really high value piece of content to them. And then they also receive the automated emails. It's old school strategy. I'm not saying this is something I made up. And I'm seeing 60% of the people who sign up are reading all 5 of the follow-up emails. So they're getting outbound from me. I'm starting conversations with them. They're also doing that. And in those emails, there's a P.S saying, by the way, if you want to work with us, click on this schedule call. And from this one little system, really simple system, people are scheduling calls with us every single week. The cost per, at the moment, that you're getting kind of a pre-release here because I'm about to release these stats. The cost per call I'm getting is £293 per call from the system. And I've converted 2 out of the 6 calls I got this month. So that worked out to be £879 for a new client. For me, that's great. I'm really happy with that, with the LTV. So that's kind of the system. It's nothing groundbreaking. It's literally an old system, but it's working well because of the advent of 4-leader ads, which are just creating, kind of opened up this system again, in my opinion, mixing that with a really good outbound, like being good of outbound. So those are the kind of levers I'm pulling. I'm pretty much putting 100% of our internal budget into this one thing.
Awesome. Love it. So we'll break that down more for folks that may be less familiar with the LinkedIn plays that are going on right now, because this is,
Yeah. So
I'd probably say, no worries. I'd probably say it's a newer strategy. As in, what I mean by that is you build a LinkedIn post. It's generally something that's hopefully super useful, although there are some exceptions on LinkedIn from other folks. But with that said, it's like a comment something on this post to grab the asset, and I'll DM it to you. But so you're saying from this whole flow, which we'll break down in more granular detail, and we'll also go under the hood of the psychology of why it works. But you're getting book calls. Did you say book calls about £300 or so, which what, $450, something like that?
roughly that, exactly. Yeah.
Got it. Which is decent considering you're selling services that are several $1,000s per month.
Exactly. I mean, LinkedIn generally works with high LTV services. So if you're selling something for a grand, this I don't think LinkedIn's for you. You probably should go to Meta or do something else. So yeah, you should have at least 10K LTV to make LinkedIn ads work.
Got it. Got it. So yeah, let's break it down from almost a high level. So initially, what was the thought process? So you're building out a LinkedIn post. Let's kind of take it from the top in terms of how
Yeah.
exactly how someone that's tuning in, that's listening or watching, can kind of construct something similar
Yeah.
if they've got a kind of offer that they want to get a
I
let's
think
pretend they've got a recurring revenue service or
yeah.
software that they want to drive book calls for.
So originally I was really against doing this and I'd advise everyone not to do this. Literally a few months ago, I'd be like, no, don't do lead gen. I was like what everyone else says. I was really bought into the demand gen plays. And honestly, they do work as well. I'm not dissing demand gen. Demand gen works really well, but pure content, like getting someone to download a bit of content in exchange for an email or some information, I decided to try it because I started thinking that the algorithm's getting, LinkedIn, the algorithm's doing the same as Meta did back in the day, where people put loads of budget and time into building out an audience, and then Meta just changed its algorithm, and I think it reached like 2 to 3% of your followers, which was devastating for a lot of people who put a lot of effort into Facebook back in the day. And LinkedIn's basically going down the same kind of cycle of any social media company. It gets really popular, makes everyone really successful, and then drops the reach and forces people to go into ads. And that's normal. So I started seeing that. And I was just thinking, like, we really need to own our own media. We need to own access to to the people we want to sell to. So collecting emails already is just valuable. And that's kind of where it started coming from. I was like, if I'm going to spend money on ads, I want to have I want to basically buy emails to the VPs of marketing that I want to talk to in the future. So that was kind of the philosophy around it, and I'm finding it luckily that it's working. I did a test and it started working. But to start from the start, it's literally a post on LinkedIn, which you don't have to do comment and like, but if you do, it gives you potentially loads of likes and comments, which is great. That social proof is really important. So you don't have to do the annoying comment and like post. I know it really annoys people and people don't like it. So you don't have to do that, but just do a normal post. Hopefully it gets some engagement and reach. And then you're going to see loads of social proof at the bottom. When you boost that post because of the social proof, so you can boost that post in Campaign Manager, which is LinkedIn ads, and you can target exactly your ICP. LinkedIn ads, for people who don't know, I'm sure most people do, but LinkedIn ads is one of the superpowers of LinkedIn is its targeting. You can upload a list and target just a list of companies, or you can just do native targeting, which is incredibly, specific and powerful. So we can put this post in front of the right people and make sure, whoever it is sees the post and clicks on the post. You're going to edit the post and put a call to action of, hey, download it here. So the main metric we're looking at is clicks to landing page. So we want to know what the click to landing page is. And for example, my cost per clicks to landing page is £5.17 on average. So it's quite a good CPC for LinkedIn ads for LinkedIn standard. And then from there, because of the social proof they get to a landing page, I honestly would say my landing page is pretty crap or like nothing special. I think it converts so highly because they're seeing the social proof already from the 4 leader ad. Because honestly, it just works. And you can see my landing page. It's got too many colors. It's not quite that great, but it's converting at roughly 45 to 50%, which is quite rare as well.
Yeah, that's solid. I'm guessing, like you said, they're kind of pre-bought in the sense that they've seen that on LinkedIn. Like, seen so many people have already commented and liked it and grabbed it. They're like, yeah, I'm going to get this anyway.
They trust it a lot more just because there's like literally 500 likes on my post or whatever. So yeah, I think that's my theory around why my page is converting so well. Because honestly, the page is not that great.
Do you have much of a framework when you're building these, let's call them lead magnet, because they're organic posts first, right? And then we let the organic rankings, or let the organic algorithm settle, say a few days later, and then boost them to our ICP. Do you have a framework for building out these posts? Like, I always say LinkedIn's a game, and one day I'll learn it, because sometimes I'll do a post and think I've done a really good hook in that couple lines. I've put some specific numbers and it just flops. Then another day I'll do something very similar and it'll just hit. and the post won't be all that different. So I don't know if you've got a framework for kind of these posts that you follow.
I'll be honest with you, Sam. I think you're right. It's kind of, I never know what works and what doesn't. It's always changing. I wish I can go down a framework that I'd use, but it probably won't be relevant next week. So I think realistically, it's just about actually having a valuable. I think the reason why gated content got so squished is because most people just started throwing up blogs and packaging them as something valuable, and then you read it, you glance at it. I remember downloading these. I wanted one bit of information from it or something. I'd glance at it and go, okay, that wasn't even that useful. And I wouldn't remember it. So it was really not useful. And I wouldn't read the follow-up emails or anything. And the reason why I think this is working quite well is for some reason, 60%, I think it's like 57% of the people who download are reading my follow-up emails, like all 5 of them.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I fill those follow-up emails with real value as well. There's no sales pitches in it. It's like some of my best research I've personally done. I run a lot of experiments, so I'm trying to put those experiments into these follow-up emails so people are like, oh cool, I don't actually see that content that regularly. It's not like easy accessible content, it's first-hand experiments content feels created. So I think they're like, okay, I might actually read the next ones because it's actually valuable. So it's about actually creating value. Like, I know that sounds super cheesy and old school. It's actually giving something that's actually useful, you know.
Yeah, I think you demonstrated it well earlier. Like, I'm of a similar mindset. Like you said that the guide used to be several $100, and then you've now made it free. Someone just needs to go through to this landing page, exchange their email and details, and they grab it, which I feel is and should have always be the way that gated content should have been. Like you say, if it's a repackaged blog post, if it's something you've just instantly clicked your fingers with ChatGPT and put a few prompts, then no, that's not deserving. We did similar a year or two back with our B2B SEO and SaaS SEO guides and that kind of stuff. Like originally they were pay to play assets, and then we gated them to ramp up our newsletter list, in short.
It's been working out for you as well, like those worked?
Steady. Like I'm interested in this for our company, Breaking B2B, because I'm very much of the mindset, and I think I almost feel like you touched on, we're going back in time with B2B marketing. Like before, everyone was like, no, you don't need to collect emails. Like that's a complete waste of time. Whereas now it's like, well, all those folks that used to say that used to love it because LinkedIn organic reach was super crazy. You could post pretty much anything and get several thousand impressions, probably with a good mixture of your ICP. Whereas now, it's like you say, it's way more difficult. LinkedIn's gone from the golden era, and they're pushing pay to play, which is fair enough. I'd probably do the same. So they want companies and they want personal profiles to do the same. So I think we're going back to owned assets. Like you can't beat owned assets. Like if you can have someone's email and connect with them that way.
It's like what I didn't make this up. Obviously, I forgot what was his name now. Damn it, I'm forgetting everyone's name at the moment. But he was talking about, social media, just you're renting land on social media. You don't own it, whereas the email is owning. You own that access. And if you're actually valuable, over time, people get used to reading your weekly emails if you have a newsletter. So you've basically got direct access to the people you want. You can also upload those emails into Meta and retarget them and all sorts of other stuff. But yeah.
Big proponent of that. We literally did a podcast, a solo episode on Breaking B2B last week where I said LinkedIn is dead. Do this B2B marketing strategy instead, and literally talked about this, like the importance of owned assets, like your website, email list, SEO, podcasting, basically all this kind of stuff. Because I feel like there's still organic reach to be had on LinkedIn, but I feel like strategies that you're sharing with us and kind of moving people into more controlled, I guess, ecosystems where you can keep top of mind is becoming more and more important. So I feel like some of the advice that folks were giving before is kind of outdated. Yeah, demand gen's great, but it has limitations.
I have. I also push people to other places like YouTube, and I know you run a great. I mean, this is probably on YouTube, but I know you run a really good YouTube channel. So, like in those emails, I'm also like, by the way, I just, I'll send a newsletter saying, hey, I just made a YouTube on this. So suddenly all that traffic can be pushed to YouTube, and if they watch one YouTube video, the algorithm will push more to them. So suddenly they go into your ecosystem, or you release anything, you can push people to your other bits of content. So they start seeing you, they start trusting you, and eventually, if they're ready, they might reach out and go, hey, you know what, would need some SEO or LinkedIn ads, whatever it is.
Definitely. Tell us more about, I think you touched on it earlier, but what's the average spend per day that you've got set up for this flow?
So I spent £1,758 in August. I don't, what's that a day? I'm not sure. But yeah,
Got it.
basically,
So that's like $2 to $3K, right?
yeah, it's $2K, probably roughly. Basically, I got 340 clicks to landing page. The CPC was £5.17. The CPM was 52. I don't know if that's relevant. 155 leads. Cost per lead was £11.34. 45% conversion landing page. So 6 phone calls. Each phone call cost £293. 2 clients signed from that, and that's 879 CAC. And it all happened within a month. But the thing that's even more efficient is that I had someone from like July schedule a call with me now. So like it's really hard to, where like the CAC is a difficult one. I need to do CAC
It
over a
is.
longer period of time because these people, and I literally have, I've been kind of on and off pushing people to the newsletter, not necessarily from paid ads before 2 years. I've got 3,500 subscribers now, which is
Okay.
not a lot, but I'm happy with that. And
Decent.
I get literally people, I always check like, where the heck did this guy first come from? And some people came from like a year ago or whatever. So there's more value than the direct CAC you're looking at, basically.
I undervalue the power of even a small list. Like
Yeah.
ours is smaller than yours. Ours is like we've never done paid stuff to push to it. It's always been like a call to action at the bottom of my LinkedIn posts or on the YouTube or the podcast. I think we're at just under 1,800 subscribers.
Yeah.
But then we'll get booked calls. I'll type in their email into my Gmail. That rhymes. And then I'll see that they subscribed to the newsletter like a year ago or 6 months ago. I'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, it actually is doing something then.
Yeah. It's a hard one to really believe in because the first 100 or 200, I've seen you post about your YouTube. It's the same. When you start anything, it doesn't feel like it's doing anything. And then 1 year later, you start seeing, it's same with SEO, like it takes up to 8 months, or maybe I'm wrong with that. Maybe that's something that old school belief. But yeah, I saw you posting about your YouTube channel saying, I haven't, is it working? Is it creating anything? I can tell YouTube used to be my number one source of phone calls back when I was pushing it really hard. But it took probably 2 years of just making video and not really seeing anything from it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's rare. It's rare that something in B2B is quick from experience.
Yeah. That's why it's so hard. That's why it's so hard, I think. And that's why, I mean, we hear this all the time. The marketing, the CEO or the CMO will just cancel something like, oh, you got a podcast. Where are the leads? 1 week in. Obviously, that's not how it works. But I guess people are under so much pressure, especially if they don't own their own company. They're just working as like a VP or a head of marketing. It's so much pressure for them to perform that it's really hard to invest in something that takes 8 months or more to do.
I feel like the strategy you've shared is great for marketing teams. One, if they've got a marketing leader within there that is active on LinkedIn organic and that maybe does have a little bit of an audience, is already posting, and they can follow this flow that you've outlined. Or maybe even one of the exec team, be it the CMO, the founder, the revenue leader, whoever it is, the thought leader, maybe a different position. So if you can capture someone that's already doing it and say, look, we've got this framework, let's do a post like you've outlined with some kind of super useful asset, and let's see how it goes on organic, and then why not boost it to our ICP with this process,
Yeah, totally.
build out a
And
landing page. And
just to kind of finish up with it all, I'm not, there are so many other things you can do with LinkedIn. This is just one of the things that I'm experimenting with.
sure.
So yeah, I've also seen really big success with conversation ads, which have been hit or miss, for example. But yeah, there's a bunch of other stuff, which we're not going to go over in this today. But yeah, I think I just want to kind of caveat it for any hater out there who starts, saying like giving me shit for pushing this kind of strategy. The other stuff works. There are other things that work really well. I just want to make sure that's clear.
LinkedIn's a big game. Like I said, I'm still learning it every day, or trying to. But I like this strategy because you've proven it. You've run as an experiment. It's actually driven book calls for a decent cost, and you've proven the model, and it's something that folks can watch or listen to this and replicate and try it for themselves. So that's exactly what we want on these kind of episodes. So with that, Phil, I want to thank you very much for sharing your strategy here. And please do tell us more about how anyone tuning in can get in touch with you or learn more?
Yeah, for sure. So probably LinkedIn is the best place to catch me because I'm a little bit addicted to LinkedIn. So I'm there a lot of the day. So if you DM me, I'll probably DM you back within 1 second sometimes. Otherwise, my name's Phil Illich, Phililic. Just find me on LinkedIn. You can probably find my newsletter. I'm going to release all these stats. That hasn't been released yet, but I'm going to release this next week. I've been saying this for like a month now while I went on holiday. But I'm releasing this, I think, next week now, all this data on this flow. So you can find that in my newsletter. But just follow me on LinkedIn, I believe, is the best place.
Nice. And we'll put all those links below in the description and show notes. So with that, thanks very much, Phil.
Thanks, Sam. It's been amazing. Cheers.
Cheers. And there you have it. I hope this LinkedIn ads lesser known strategy proves useful for your B2B business. And if you want to join thousands of B2B legends enjoying my weird weekday newsletter tips for case studies, unusual B2B marketing strategies, as well as that, you'll instantly unlock my 90 days to revenue B2B SEO guide. Head over to breakingb2b.com and hit that newsletter tab. And with that, I shall catch you on the next one. Cheers.